Hey everyone, Hybrid Toy Reviews here, wanting to take a quick look at the Star Wars The Black Series Ahsoka Tano and her Padawan outfit from the Clone Wars. An absolutely iconic outfit. Ahsoka has had many different outfits over the years throughout Clone Wars, Rebels, Mandalorian, her own series, and I am super happy that we're finally getting this one. This is absolutely one of the GOATs, one of her best appearances out of all of her appearances. Something I've been waiting to add to the collection since 2013 when the line started. Let's get into the review, see if this one's a worthy addition to the collection. Alright, let's start by taking a look at the packaging. This is your standard plastic-free packaging, although probably the final wave of it, thankfully. So up top, you have your Black Series logo above the render of Ahsoka, looking pretty cool. You have your Star Wars The Clone Wars in yellow across the front. Ahsoka Tano, Padawan, in quotes, warning 4 plus Hasbro plastic-free packaging symbol. On the side of the box, we got some art of Ahsoka. I gotta say, not really keen on the face on this one. She do be kind of not a baddie in this one. So, yeah, artist needs to do better next time. Below that, you have Ahsoka Tano, Padawan, in quotes. This side of the box features your Black Series logo, the render of Ahsoka holding with her sabers next to her, indicating that she's 5.6 inches tall, which feels accurate. You have your plastic-free packaging info down below again. Around back, you have your Black Series logo, the render of Ahsoka, her name, and a bio. Pause and read whichever language applies best to you. She's number 13 in the Clone Wars lineup. Got a bunch of legal info, your Disney and Hasbro logos. Underneath that is more barcodes and legal stuff. Up top's just a hanger tab to hang your figure on the shelf. So, that's all that's going on here. Let's go ahead and take a look at what's inside the box and get into the review. Alright, so here's Ahsoka out of the box, and as always, we're going to start by taking a look at the accessories. Now, these are her two lightsabers from the third season onwards in the show, her normal lightsaber and her Shoto lightsaber. They look very good. They have a nice chrome paint applied to the hilts with a bunch of black paint details punched in. They have two green blades in the same shade of green that the Ezra and Sabine from the Ahsoka wave just recently that have come out, where they're kind of fluorescent. They sort of catch the light. They look like they have a little bit of an internal glow, and I do really like that. I will say, however, that both of these being green is wrong. The Shoto is supposed to have a little bit of a yellowy tint to it. The main lightsaber is supposed to be straight green, and then it's supposed to be like very lime, almost yellow on the Shoto. So them both being green, inaccurate, wrong. Hasbro, do better. These accessories are also, as best as I can tell, reuse from the lightsabers that come with the Clone Wars Season 7 Ahsoka. That is not a problem, because they are the same hilts, just the kyber crystals have been changed. And I will say that, objectively, they are painted better. They do have the black stripe down the edge of the hilts going on, which is nice. However, the Season 7 ones do have the darker color down at the pommel on them, and the red on the buttons painted in. Same going on the Shoto here, where they've painted in the bottom and the button on the side. Kind of sucks that they've, fixed some things at the cost of losing other things, but it is what it is. These blades are removable. They just unpeg. And you'll note that her lightsabers, both of them, this goes on both of them, have two shrouds on each side. So when you look at these blades, they actually have little shroud cutouts on them. So you have to align the blade correctly when you port that back into the hilt. So it will go in deeper there and be a more secure fit. Whereas if you maybe got it sideways, you're only getting just a little bit in there. It's kind of wobbly. So something that you may want to pay attention to. She features two pegs on her belt loops here to carry the unlit lightsabers. And all in all, it is a pretty good look, I will say. So, really quick, also, just to do a little comparison, I mentioned that the saber hilts and blades, except not the coloring, are likely reused from the Season 7 Ahsoka. That figure was plagued by reuse of the Rebels Ahsoka, but thankfully there doesn't seem to be any reuse here. The head sculpt seems to be totally original. There's no reuse of any parts of that. There's nothing on this that could have been taken from that, which is great, because Rebels Ahsoka looks great as Rebels Ahsoka. It doesn't look great as Season 7 Ahsoka. Articulation is also very dated. So while this was our only Clone Wars Ahsoka before now, this has definitely become the better one for a few different reasons that we're going to get into. However, it's not flawless, unfortunately. So, let's go ahead and look at the face sculpt here, as always to start. I do see a pretty good resemblance to Ahsoka. I look at this and I'm like, yep, that's my cartoon character that I've, been a fan of since 2008. It looks very good. I will say there's an unfortunate side effect now, because we have seen a live-action version of Ahsoka wearing basically this outfit in the series, and this doesn't resemble the actress from that super well, and I kind of feel like we're probably going to see that figure in a live-action version of the figure sooner than later. Obviously, Hasbro didn't know, and this has probably been in the works for a couple years now, and that's just been shown in the last month, but obviously it's not the perfect representation of what it should be, but it is a good representation of the character as she was up until a month ago when we saw her in episode 5 of the Ahsoka series. So, nice recreation of an animated face here, though. It does look the part. Nice, white paint, the dark blue, gray on the head and montrals there. Nice little Padawan, bead braid there also. She has a very nice shade of orange going on for the skin. That was kind of a thought with the Season 7 one, is that maybe she was just a little bit dark. They've lightened her up a little bit here. Kind of works better for what the animated model looks like. And just looking around, man, this is just... I've wanted this figure since 2013 when the line started. So I'm just excited to finally have it in hand. I like her little arm, upper bicep bands, little diamond cutouts going down the thighs. And just wow. Such an awesome recreation here. So now I did say that there are a couple of issues here, and I will point those out now. So looking down the arms at the hands, her right hand is just kind of like a standard lightsaber grip hand. It looks good. It looks the part. The left hand is sculpted so it can hold things, but it also has a Force Fingers splay going on. And while I do like that idea, I do like the idea of trying to multi-purpose a little bit, that way you can do something other than just hold a lightsaber. My issue with that is because the index and middle finger are kind of raised up. It makes it so that she's only really holding her accessories with her thumb and 2 lower fingers. So sticking the Shoto in, it's a loose fit. It's not holding on very well. And there's not really a trick to it that I found yet, because sometimes you'll have a lightsaber with a big box on the side, and if it's loose in the hand, you just wedge that box in there. This, and there's not really anything that protrudes crazily other than the peg, but the peg protrudes so far that it's just not really helpful. So not great at holding the Shoto in her left hand. The main hilt is just a touch bigger around in diameter. So I will say the main hilt does hold on a little bit nicer. But I went through and I did verify and I watched, and she appears to be right hand dominant. So the main hilt is usually in her right hand and the Shoto in the left. So it's not a game changer swapping it on the shelf, but I kind of wish that they'd have at that point just done the Force Fingers on the right hand and not the left. Not perfect, but it's not horrible. I don't hate it. So, but I did want to mention it. It caught my eye enough to say that it was worthy of mention. Let's run through some articulation really quick. She features the double ball neck system on here, although with these thick head tentacles really doesn't help you too terribly much. She can look up that high, down that far, side to side, a little bit of pivot. Her arms come up to a T-pose, and there is a butterfly joint in there. 360 at the shoulder with single jointed elbows that go 290 and rotate. 360 and vertical hinge on both wrists. She features a waist ball joint, which allows her to crunch that far forward, that far back, so far back that you can actually see into the joint a little bit, so that's not ideal. You got some side-to-side pivot here and rotation. Her legs can kick all the way out. They can go all the way forward, not much back. There's no upper thigh cut. I don't mind that being deleted because the knee swivel kind of replaces that, but there's a little bit of rotation just on the ball joint up there, so you get a little swivel. Single joint knees that go to 90 and then rotate, with the feet that can point basically straight down, a little bit forward, and there's a forward-facing pin for rocker, allowing you to get some pretty decently wide stances with both feet flat on the ground. To do some size comparisons, modify the camera position a little bit. Here she is next to our Clone Wars movie Anakin and our Clone Wars movie Obi-Wan. And then our Phase 2 Captain Rex, and because I still have him here, and why not, our Commander Appo from the Kenobi series, or as we like to call him, just any Phase 2 501st. So, all in all, the scaling here does work pretty nice, I will say, and I'm glad that she's a little shorter, everything works great. We either need now Season 3 appearances for Anakin or Obi-Wan, or Hasbro needs to grow a pair and just give us that Clone Wars movie Obi-Wan. Not saying I want a 14-year-old girl on a tube top. That was George Lucas's doing, but it's iconic, and if you're going to give us these versions, we need that version to make the trio. This is not right. So, end of the day, what do I think of Clone Wars Season 3 to 5 Ahsoka? I'm happy to have it, and it's a fun figure. I can't say it's not a touch clunky. It's way better than Rebels and Season 7 Ahsoka. I think the live-action Mandalorian Ahsoka has this one edged out. It's a fun figure. She's been desperately needed on the shelf, and I'm glad that Hasbro has finally chosen to address the absence. But the Shoto's a little bit clunky, just by nature of the design. The head tails make it a little bit clunky. Ahsoka is an awesome character that doesn't always translate the best to action figure form. But I am really happy to have her, and I think for the design and for what's going on here, they have done their absolute best. And I'm happy with her. I guess maybe in my mind I'd put the concept of this figure on such a high pedestal I was always going to be disappointed. But this is a really good attempt by Hasbro, and I'm really satisfied with it. And ultimately, I do highly recommend it. I think she looks the part. So that's it for now. Thanks for watching. It means a lot that you did. If you enjoyed, you should leave a like, comment, subscribe, all the end of video stuff. I'm going to go work on something else now, so I will catch you next time. Until then, consider joining the HTR Superfan channel membership. It's 99 cents a month, and it gets your username on the end credits of every video. That's it for now. Until then, may the Force be with each and every one of you. Bye.